Join us for the very first IFL Live at London's Indigo at the O2, Sunday, August the 13th, with me, Coogan Cassius, and some very special guests. Eddie Hearn, Darren Barker, Johnny Fisher and more. Tickets now on sale. So in the words of Eddie Hearn,
you get up, you dress up, and you fucking show up.
This is Joe Pugh for IFL TV. We're here at Limehouse Boxing Academy, joined by Eddie Hearn. How are you, mate?
I'm very good, thank you, mate.
All good community development. That's what it's all about today, and it went really well. How'd you feel? Yeah, it was really good.
Amazing turnout. I mean, obviously it's been a rough few days, and boxing can get you saying sometimes. Down here, they're not really worried about Twitter or purse bids or governing bodies or VADA. They are really bothered about changing their lives, and actually it's about bringing people in from the community to try and let them take positive steps. And coming through these doors isn't just about being Olympic champion or world champion. It's just about changing your mindset, doing something positive and meeting people that can put you in a better direction. And maybe go on and become a champion, as some of the kids down here today are going that way, fighting for England boxing, etc. So a nice soul-cleansing experience today, Joe.
I was just speaking to Alex, and I spoke to him since he joined Matchroom. How important is it for you to go forward, to be carrying on doing stuff like this and even pushing it worldwide?
Yeah, I mean, look, we've taken Alex from England boxing and given him a role at Matchroom. So we now have effectively someone in charge of the community that we're employing, but we expect that department to grow. That should tell you how serious we are about making a difference, because as a legacy, that's something that will live well beyond anything I do for shows or boxing or whatever. So today was a great success, and you know, as always, parents, try and get your kids down there. This facility in Limehouse is unbelievable, not just for boxing. You've got a dance studio down there, educational facilities, health facilities, council facilities, counselling facilities, and it's free. Yeah. Free for kids to come down. It's unbelievable. You know, and this is something that the government do that is fantastic, and hopefully they can do more and create more opportunities in places like this.
Moving on, it's now been around just over 48 hours since you announced Helenius. General contentious, how do you think it's been received?
Pretty well, really. I think everyone's going to moan and say, should have thought this, should have thought that. But the sensible response is, okay, I think considering, I think it's the right choice, and could have been a lot worse, and it could have been. You know, I think Helenius is a good fighter, he's fit, that was important to us. Also, you have to understand the need to move quickly. Like, there's a lot of messes in boxing, and we needed someone that we knew would get on the plane the next day, would sign a contract, doesn't have 8 managers all saying, I want this, I want that. And Helenius was a guy who stepped up, said, I've just won by knockout on Saturday, I'm ready to fight. And I think everybody's looking forward to the show.
Just piggybacking off of the press conference yesterday, Derek Chisora, always the entertainment, but in an interview with us, he said, Eddie is a dick. 1 minute he's nice to Dillian, he's not the next. Just your reaction to that?
I've always been nice to Dillian. I mean, Derek's a strange character. You know, like he posts, this is my friend, and he phones me up, asks me how everybody is, and then slags me off at press conferences. I don't really know what to think, to be honest with you, but...
Did you want him on the show?
Always. But at the same time, what he doesn't understand is this is AJ's show. Yeah. There is a budget, okay? Derek wants a lot of money. So, obviously, you know, it doesn't always work out. But if you gave me the choice to have Derek on the show, I would always choose Derek on the show. But also, Derek's mellowed over the years, where if he says something that I don't agree with now, I will actually... definitely not stick it on him, but I will at least say to him, mate, that's a liberty, you shouldn't have said that. Whereas before, he used to scare the life out of me because he was a lot more raw than he is now. But he's a character. By the way, it's a real fight. It's a complete 50-50 fight with Gerald Washington. And he must win that fight. So I hope he does. He's given fight fans unbelievable value over the years, and hopefully he can do it on Saturday.
Yesterday I spoke to Gareth A. Davis. He said that he'd heard AJ took a massive pay cut to fight Robert Helenius. Would he be right in saying that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Is that testament to AJ, just to carry on with the show?
Because, look, we know it's been taken off pay-per-view. As soon as that happens, the whole financial dynamics of the show change. It's great for the Zone. It's probably the best non-pay-per-view show I think we've ever done. Of course, with AJ as well, topping the bill, which says it all. But from there, if you've done 12 weeks of training, he's also spent a lot of money in camp, but money's important for all fighters, but also at this stage, he wants to prepare himself for Deontay Wilder. And what he didn't want to do is train for 12 weeks, then have 3 or 4 weeks off with no fight, then go back into camp, then have this fight in November, December, then rule out the Wilder fight for January, not be ready till April, May. Then all of a sudden, it doesn't work for Saturday. Like, you have to fight, and that was important for me to understand when we got the news.
Finally, I've got to ask you about Simon Jordan's podcast with Frank Warren. Have you watched it?
The loving. I haven't seen it. A couple of pals just spitting the fat.
Well, he did say that he only ever responds to the promoter beef. He never starts promoter beef, and he never starts any kind of back and throw, yeah.
Yeah, I think, look, in fairness to Frank Warren, you guys will say, oh, so-and-so said this, what do you think? And that sets him off. Once you say that, once you say the 2 words that send the blood pressure crazy, which is Eddie Hearn, it's game over. Do you know what I mean? So to be fair to Frank, I don't think Frank necessarily just wakes up and goes, I'm going to slag Eddie Hearn off today. But this older generation, there are a lot more... let's just say they get agitated a lot easier. My old man the same. Like, I'll give him some news of what's happening in boxing or with it, he goes mad. Fucking liberty, fucking. He's like, I look at him sometimes and think, oh, well, it's Warren, Whereas we and George, his son included, just more chilled, you know what I mean? But they're passionate guys, they're old school guys, and I only saw literally 20 seconds of that clip.
Do you think you're a gangster?
Is that what he said? Yeah.
You said I think he actually refers to you and Ben Shalom, but
me and Ben Shalom
other promoters he was referring to
as gangsters. I think I am probably as far away from a gangster as you can ever be. I am absolutely soft as shit.
Last one, I just want to pull this quote out. He said, Eddie Hearn has done extremely well for himself, but you can also be in the right place at the right time, and then alludes to the fact that if he hadn't have left Sky, he was very close to signing AJ when he was turning pro. Is that true?
He was so close. Yeah. Do you know how close I was to winning the 100 metres in the Olympics? So close, unbelievable. Never happened, but I'll tell you what, whoa. One day I woke up, I ran 42 seconds. I'll tell you, give me a couple more weeks, I would have made it. Life is about taking the opportunity when it presents itself. You always have to play the hand you're dealt. I said to Simon Jordan the other day, but he didn't let me finish. I said to him, we've both done really well. You took a company from start-up to 100 million. We know, not being facetious, but he lost it all. But I took a £50 million company to £1 billion company. But I could lose it all. So life throws all kinds of... And he could come back still and do something. But that's life. Like, life is a marathon, not a sprint. But I don't like all this, well, you're only where you are because you took over your dad's business. Yeah, guess what? That was the hand that I was dealt. Deal with it, fucker. And guess what? I took it to an unprecedented levels. And if I was useless, if I was a bag of shit, if I didn't work my nuts off every day, if I went out and just partied and spunked it all up the wall because I had loads of money in the bank, I would have achieved nothing and the company would be finished and over. But guess what? Didn't play out like that, baby, did it? So it doesn't matter where I came from or what opportunities I got, it's where we are now. And that, my friend, is numero uno, and it's something that pisses a lot of people off, including those 2 fine gentlemen.
Eddie, thank you very much, mate.
For the very first IFL Live at London's Indigo at the O2, Sunday, August the 13th, with me, Kugan Cassius, and some very special guests, Eddie Hearn, Darren Barker, Johnny Fisher, and more. Tickets now on sale. So in the words of Eddie Hearn,
You get up, you dress up, and you fucking show up.